top of the hour, so I just wanted to say I've known Patrick for a couple of years now, both with My Biz Suite, Soaring Hawk AI. He knows his stuff, people, and he's run so many successful businesses before this and before becoming a full-time entrepreneur. So there's a lot that you can unpack, a lot to learn here, and hopefully get at the end, Patrick, we can talk a little bit about your giveaways that you're gonna do. But for now, I'm gonna turn this time over to Patrick Smith.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. It's been great to spend time with everybody from the RV Entrepreneurs Group that we meet every Wednesday for like a long time now. I don't know, it's been over a year and a half, I think, that I've been in that group. So I love it. But right now, I want to show you something to just prove to you, I guess, that I actually am on the road. I was playing around with some stuff this morning and I went, oh, there's those cool old pictures. So, can you see my screen, Jennifer? I mean, Kimberly, can you see my
We sure
screen?
can. Yes, we sure can.
So, this picture here is me when I first went full time. I've been traveling almost my whole life, but when I decided to sell my brick and mortar house and go full time RVing, this was one of the first trips that I did. This was in 2019. I was a lot thinner then. I looked at this picture and went, dang. But it was a lot of fun. And that was the dog that I traveled with at the time, Tara. She was about 65 pounds. And we traveled around. This was the second, this was, let's see, no, I think this was the first actual trailer we bought. I started out in a road trek, in a Class B road trek. And yeah, this Terry trailer, that was one of my first trailers that no, I think that might have been the second one that I bought. But we went coast to coast, Tara and I, traveling across in some of the most beautiful country, just enjoying the United States and running my company. Yes, I put a bit of weight from back then, but I'd never been to the Grand Canyon. This is boondocking outside of the south rim of the Grand Canyon. And I think this one's in Oregon. I think that's Wyoming. I can't remember. This, believe it or not, is Tucson, Arizona. It's like it's freaking snowing on me in Tucson, Arizona. It's not supposed to do that, is it? And so got to see just some beautiful, amazing country and meet some fun people as I traveled around doing this stuff, checking things off my bucket list because I always wanted to do this and I never got a chance to do it. Right. And so what happened was I said, when what can you do? Okay, I got to tell you this quick story. This guy, see that raccoon? I don't know if you can see that raccoon. I'm I'm overnighting at an RV park in Louisiana, just passing through, and a guy walks down the street with a raccoon on a leash, and I'm like, what? What's So my puppy, she was about 6 months old, and the raccoon are playing together. I'm like, okay, this is just you meet some fun people on the road. It was just a kick. And then this guy that my dog was trying to stay away from, that's in Florida. That was me in Florida getting ready to go swim with the manatees. But I think this sign kind of says it all from the RV standpoint. You're not lost if you don't care where you're going. So, you know, having a life on the road is amazing. Having a life on a road with a business that you run is even more amazing because with the tools and the things that we have today, you can run a true business while you're on the road. Okay. It, and I have met so many different kinds of business owners, from people that do service industries like we just heard about, from people that do direct marketing businesses, traveling nurses, just all kinds of things. You can, if you have any experience in anything, you can teach a course on it. You can write books on it. You can do webinars on it. You can do podcasts on it. You can do so many things that you can do while you're traveling. And what I want to share with you today is how you can make that really work for you using some tools that we didn't have, even some of the tools we didn't even have 6 months ago, but they are amazing. Um, so the question I always wanted to ask people is when you get into an RV and you're thinking about running your, having some income while you're traveling around, you did that because you wanted freedom. Most of us, when we got into wanting to travel to become an RVer, we wanted the freedom to be able to see the places we could go, like I just showed you in those pictures, and the freedom to have a lifestyle. Well, you can do that, but you have to do it in a way that allows you to build a business, not a job. So, kind of a little bit more about my backstory from my business side. I started out my first business in 1988, and it was my twin brother and my daughter and I started a company. She was the receptionist and was 17 years old or 18 years old, something like that at the time, I think. Um, and we grew that company from the three of us to offices in multiple states over about 20 years. And much like we just heard, the growth of that company came about through relationships. Now, when I first started that, I got kind of bought into the whole advertising marketing thing because that's what everybody told me I was supposed to do. And I paid an insane amount of money for in the early 90s. We didn't have the internet yet, so it was all print advertising, and I bought color advertising pages. They used to go by the right hand thumb was the most expensive and all kinds of stuff. I hired a company because I was in Central California. I hired a company from Southern California to fly a guy up to Central California and spend 3 days following my twin brother and I around, shooting photographs and making all of our graphics and making all of our images and making all of our posters and doing all of our stuff. Okay, insanely expensive. After a few years of that, I looked at it when I could not see where that money was returning an investment. So I canceled all of that and I started focusing on relationship marketing. I eventually wrote my first book on that in about 1996. But the idea was that if we stay focused on the people that we want to be in touch with, then the people that we know that already know, like, and trust us, then we don't have to worry about trying to convince somebody else about who we are, right? So as that business did really well, um, but then I got in an automobile accident in 2013, and I wasn't able to drive. I wasn't able to go anywhere because of the accident. And I had to sue my own insurance company because they didn't want to pay for the policy that I had with them for what happened during the accident. And the lawyer that I had asked me, my lawyer saw the marketing that I'd been doing for my own company because I was doing video marketing in about 1996. I started doing video marketing and some of that stuff, making my own videos, those kind of things. And my lawyer said, "Can you do that for me?" And I said, "I guess I never thought about doing it for anybody else, you know." So I started looking at how I could help other business owners. And that's kind of what led me to having the freedom to be able to travel. Because before that, I had a real estate company. And in real estate, it's pretty hard, not impossible, but it's pretty hard to really focus if you're not in that location. I would have to like be at there, have to do open houses, I have to meet buyers, I have to meet sellers, those kind of things. Now, I did have a business, so I had multiple staff and I was able to travel around the world and go to New Zealand and other places. And the company still ran without me, but not for more than a week or two at the time. I sure couldn't have got on the road and gone for 6 years like I have recently. So I always wanted to travel. I always wanted to do that. And then in 2019, I decided, you know what? I'm going to hit the road. I I'm kind of getting up there in years, and it's time for me to go out and kind of enjoy the United States because I'd always flown over states. I'd never like been in them. I'd fly into a city, I'd be there for a little while, I'd do some business, and I'd leave and go to the next one. So I owned a road trek at the time. And for those of you that don't know, a road trek is a class B, which class B just kind of means it's like a big 9 passenger van you might see, but it's really decked out, has really nice layout. It even has a shower inside of a van. But I bought it used because I'm a cheapskate and I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna like this. Finding a used road trek took me 6.5 months because they're really hard to find. But then I found it, I fixed it up, I repainted it, I rebuilt it, and I kept it for 5 years for weekend and week-long trips. And then when I was ready to hit the road, I went, "Well, I got a road trek. I'll just sell everything I got, put what I want to keep in storage, jump in the road trek, and boogie, and I'll go do my thing. Weehaw! It's going to be a kick." Okay, well, uh, I didn't think about a 60-pound dog in my road trek, trying to make the bed, trying to figure out where I'm going to take a shower, and then running my company all in a road trek. That was really something else. So I ended up buying a beater truck and a beater trailer just because I didn't want to spend money if I wasn't going to keep doing it. I wanted to kind of like test the waters, right? Currently, I'm on my third upgraded trailer, which is 38 feet long and has 2 bedrooms. One bedroom's a full office with a standing desk where I'm at right now. And so it worked out. Um, but like most entrepreneurs, you probably got into this because you wanted to be independent. You wanted some freedom. Now, it was really hard to do that at the beginning because there was no Starlink. When I started, getting an internet connection was a joke. I thought, well, this is going to be a piece of cake because I had a cell phone and they told me when I bought it I have an unlimited plan. I went, "Oh, cool. It's unlimited. I can jump on the road." What they didn't tell me was, yeah, I could talk to people unlimited, but it wasn't unlimited data. And in those days, it was like, I don't know, 35 megabytes or 20 megabytes or something of data. And then they throttled you back down so low, you couldn't even, it was worse than dial up. So all of a sudden, I'm on the road trying to run a business, and I've got 3 different cell phone plans, several different routers, all kinds of stuff, trying to patch things together to try to make it work. It was really crazy. Luckily we have Starlink now, and so when Starlink came along, that was really cool because that meant now I don't have any problems with connectivity, but it created its own other problem, and that was everybody expected me to be there all the time. Well, I got on the road to enjoy my life, not to be spending every time I was somewhere to be constantly on a phone or constantly on my computer. Okay, so because now it feels like, oh, I have to be in touch with people all the time. I can't even enjoy my lifestyle. How am I going to run my business and be able to step outside and get things done or enjoy hiking somewhere or doing what I want to do when everybody expects me to be there full time? And what I realized was you needed systems. So after I started helping people in 2013, one of the things that I realized then was that most of the businesses that I knew did not have a system. We heard a little bit about that earlier today, and that is you have to have some standard operating procedures. You have to have a system in place to do things so that you can duplicate what goes on. Most of the businesses that I started helping, when I would ask them, where's their database? And they go, QuickBooks? I don't know. So, well, how do you keep in touch with your past clients? Well, we don't. I'm like, but that's the people who already like you. How come you're not talking to them? Right? So it wouldn't be unusual for me in those days to run into businesses with no systems. And what ended up happening was they didn't have a proactive way to build relationships. everybody you talk to knows that referrals and relationships are the best kind of ways to get business. It's the least expensive, it's the most consistent, and the people you get to work with already have a positive reputation about you. You don't have to try to quote unquote sell yourself to them. But you can't do that without a system. And sometimes if you're on the road, it gets kind of hard to do systems. So you need to look at what kind of systems can I get in place that will help me do that. Now, that's kind of where AI kicks in. The CRM, or the database that most people, a customer relationship management system, a way for us to keep track of their names and address and phone numbers. That's about the most basic you can get. But then how can you follow up with those people on emails and text messages and all different kinds of things? That's where AI comes in, because it can help us leverage those systems. So when I'm traveling across the country in my RV, I don't have to worry about, well, number one, I don't have a store. Okay. So it's not like I have a storefront. And you can't, like in the old days when I had a brick and mortar business, you came to my office and I paid a heck of a lot of money for that office. One of my offices was over $5,000 a month. It was insane. But it, you came to the office to meet me, right? Well, in my RV, you can't come to my office because I don't know where my office is going to be next week. Okay. So I needed to be able to answer the phones and get text messages and create relationships and stay in touch with people and provide products and provide answers and help people with problems, all while maybe I'm going 60 miles an hour. Okay, maybe more depending on how big my truck is. Right now with my truck, I can do a lot more of that, but going from one place to another in my RV. And so that's what's important. That's where the AI can kick in, because it can help you do that. It can be your co-pilot. Now, I want to mention that the AI is not here to replace you as a human. That's what a lot of people think is AIs replace humans. Well, kind of a little maybe in some jobs. Yeah, I used to have secretaries that I paid thousands of dollars a month that sat at the desk and met people, and they came in the door and said hello and took their notes and helped them out and answered the phones and told me, had a notepad, handed me what happened on the phone. I don't have to do that anymore. Okay. But it would be pretty hard for me to have that in the back of my RV. Okay. With an AI for a couple of $100, I can have an AI that will do all of those things for me. So the it is something that's kind of like your co-pilot. So before I get too deep into the business tools, I want to talk about the fact that the AI can also be used for your lifestyle tools. So when you're thinking about AI in RV entrepreneurship, it's not just the business. That's kind of where I live in, because I love businesses. It's what I've been doing for 40 years. I just love building and doing things in businesses. But we talk a lot about AI, but the same tools, AI for business, but the same tools can also be used for life on your road, right? So you can use things like um, use a co-pilot that says, okay, where's the next place that I can get fuel, or how much is the cost in at the Flying J down the road, and do I have a loyalty discount for that, right? So, for example, one of my last trips I did was California to all the way down into the bottom of Texas, and then around the Gulf and down into the Keys in Florida, and then swimming and playing and goofing around and running my companies, all of that, and then came back around through some more states, back to Arizona, then up through Nevada, and then up into the Pacific Northwest. Most of that trip, when it came to, because I'm running a diesel, I would do things like, well, number one, stay out of California because the cost of fuel was so expensive. I try to like cut the corner of California, but um, I would have apps and I would AI tools that could look at different apps and go, okay, what loyalty programs do I have that are going to give me the best discount? Because I have about 8 or 9 of them, and they all will give me different discounts. Which which station coming up in the next 200 or 300 miles is going to have the best deal on fuel, and how can I measure out my stops so that I can, as I'm traveling, I can know that, oh, I don't have to stop here and pay that insane amount of money for fuel because I didn't plan it. But I just pull up an AI that'll sort all of that out for me, and then I can go and go, okay, I'm covered. I know that I can make it to this place, and that place has the best fuel, and they're going to give me a 50 cents a gallon discount because I happen to have that loyalty program for Open Roads or somebody. Um, that's the kind of things that you can do with AI on your lifestyle. But AI for your business really is can be kind of amazing. Um, and in order for it to work, what you have to do is learn how to train the AI on who you are. I call it your brand authority kit. What's the tone of voice? What's the person behind you, right? I have a bunch of things that I use that I help build out so that I actually have a document that is about 14 pages long that is a call it a dossier or a brand identity kit that isn't just things like what's your color codes and things like that. It's your tone of voice, who you are, what my history is, the way I speak things. Because a lot of times when I'm talking, I'll say things like I like to work the customers that I can sit across the kitchen table with them because that's how I've always run my businesses. So that's the way that I talk, right? I'm from the West Coast. I talk West Coast. I don't talk New York. Okay. It doesn't mean either one of them is different. It's just they're different tones of voices. They're different ways that we speak. I have all of this history of things that come up in the way that I communicate. Now, I need to be able to have an AI tool that sounds like me, right? And so that's one of the most important things that I could leave you with, if anything, is um, it's because of the explosion of AI tools that are out there. A lot of people think that AI is just this one thing, right? It's like, oh, it's write me an email, and they get this generic hallucination possible answer that doesn't sound like them. But if we train the AI the right way, so it's your marketing assistant, and you tell it what you want the right way, and you give it or have it already pre-trained, because some of them today will even have a memory built into them, and you've given these AIs the tools so it knows all about you. It knows that I'm speaking West Coast. It knows that I like to say things like sitting around the kitchen table. It knows about those things about me. So when it goes to write an email, it writes an email that sounds more like me. Now I'll probably say this a couple of times. It doesn't mean the AI replaces the human. The idea is the AI is going to get you 80-90% of the way to where you want to go with something, but you need to have a human touch in there to check it just to make sure it's still you. Because just like if my assistants and my secretaries that I had in my brick and mortar offices, if I said, hey, um, Jennifer was one of my last assistants. I said, "Hey Jennifer, I need to have this email campaign that goes out to everybody that does this, this, and this. Put together a package for me that has that stuff on it so I can go look at it." Okay, that would be one of her jobs. Do some copywriting for me, help me put it together. But I wouldn't just then have her send it. I would still look at it when she was done with it to make sure that it was correct. AI is the same way. Okay. And one of the things that I have told a lot of people when they're looking at how do you train an AI and how do you do some of that is you want to teach or talk, excuse me, to your AI like it's a brand new employee, like you just hired, like I just hired Jennifer. She knows nothing about me and my company. She didn't know anything about what we did. I would have to give her some instructions and say, hey, I need you to write me an email, create a blog post for me, do this, this, or this, help me with these things. But I want it to sound like this. This is the way we talk to our customers. This is the way that we provide them answers. Here's our standard operating procedures. I have to give her some instructions. Okay. I wouldn't just say, hey, go do that and walk away and expect to have a good answer. Just not going to happen. So there's kind of a couple of different kinds of AI out there. There's the generic AI that most people think about, okay, like ChatGPT. It's a AI that is you ask it a question and you get an answer back. Okay. To me, that's kind of not really that's it's not it's so far behind what you can do today that I don't even think of that as AI. That's just like a Google search engine almost. It's kind of like saying a kindergartner and a student at college with a bachelor's degrees are both students. They're both in school. They're both taking classes and they're both doing things, but they're completely different outputs in the way that they do things. Okay. So instead of going to a chat GPT and getting some generic out of the box answer that's a robotic tone with memory that doesn't work all the time, I want to go to where there's what we call agentic AIs or different places where we can get really good knowledge sources, really good tones. It remembers who we do, who we are, and what we're doing. The other things that AI can do for us today, besides just that copywriting portion of it, is, and I have been trying to get this to work for about 10 years. And we finally are at a place where this works amazingly well. Now, is it 100% there? No, it's not. But let me tell you, today we have AIs that can answer your phone in a normal voice and sound really close to human. Okay. Because I don't know about you, but the majority of people don't want to leave voicemail anymore. Okay. And the reason they don't like voicemail is because nobody calls them back. Now, I'm not talking about your friends. I'm talking about if you called let's say you had a plumber that you needed to call. I would bet you could sit down and you would go to Google and you'd search plumbers near me and you'd pull up a list and you'd start making phone calls. Hey, I need a plumber because my toilet's overflowing. And I'm going to get a voicemail and I'm going to leave an answer and I'm going to hang up and I'm going to call the very next one because I didn't get anybody to talk to me. I'm going to call the next one. I'm going to probably get the same answer. Out of those 10, I'd be lucky if I got two people that actually answered. Maybe I got a voicemail. Some of them I might even not get a voicemail. I did this trying to get my truck fixed at a new place that I was at. It took it took 2 days for some of those people to return calls from me. Some of them never return calls, and I was going to pay them thousands of dollars. So nobody really likes to leave voicemail today. But with an AI, if you called up Zoe, one of my AIs, I have about 8 of them working on one of my websites. You call up Zoe, she's like my assistant. She's like my customer support person. She knows all about my company. She knows my tone, what I want to say, how I want to say it. She knows what I sell. She knows the problems people run into. And you can carry on a whole conversation with her and she will answer questions, make you feel heard, and even schedule appointments into my calendar for me and send you the all of the information that you need directly either to a text message or an email, whichever you want, all done for you while I'm going down the road at 65 miles an hour in my RV or I'm out on the beach with my dog playing. All of that's happening for me. So what I found out was when I'm traveling and I want to be off the, kind of off the grid, I need to have tools that will answer my calls, that will answer my text messages, that will deal with my social media. I've got tools that will help me with social media accounts and schedule my posts and create posts and do all of these things for me, all while I am watching the sunset in Monterey, California, or hiking in South Dakota, or wherever I happen to be. That's what's so cool. It can access your calendar and check and cross reference when you are going to be available. It can do all of those things. And then when you stop and you go to unhook your rig or park and get all set up, now you can pop up your laptop and go, oh, okay, I got an appointment booked for here and it's blah, 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 blah. And it's all done. That's what's so cool. It can all be done while you're traveling. So it can also do things like speed up the time that you're actually doing things. Okay, I want to run a business. I really don't want a job that is forcing me to be stuck 8 hours of working full time. I didn't get into an RV lifestyle to do that. So the AI can do the heavy lifting for me. Okay. Again, it's going to get 80% of the work done. Drafting social posts, blog posts, email campaigns, all of those things. It will take a 2 hour job and shrink it down into 20 minutes of my time. And the other rest of the time, the AI did it. So I can get that same job done in 20 minutes and have an even better result. That's what's so cool about what we can do with this stuff. The agentic AIs is a word you might want to kind of like tie into. There are tools like Manus and Lovable and Base 44 and Claude. Claude's one of my most recent favorite ones of the agentic AIs because it's doing so much and it's not expensive. But they do, not only do they have the ability to be able to create a lot of stuff, you can actually build applications. You can build mobile apps. Let's say you had a business and you wanted to be able to create an app that gathered the information about something and then give it back to your clients in a way that made them do it. It will build all of that just by you talking to it. You can build websites just by talking to it. Okay. It will actually, using things through your phone, you can be on your phone while you're driving, telling your website what you want it to do, and then hang up, and it will do it while you're driving. So you don't even have to be at a computer to do it. You can say, hey, by the way, I got this great idea. I want you to go build me a website that looks like this and does this and does this and blah, 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 and then hang up. And then when you pull over, you open it up and the job's done. It'll blow your mind. It'll blow your mind what you can do with that. So again, people say, well, will AI take my business? And, is it going to make me sound robotic? No, it doesn't. Okay. And it is all about making sure that AI does the heavy lifting, but you have to have the human touch involved. And now when it comes to just living life on the road, it can even do even more fun stuff. I mean, there are things like road trips, road trippers, Gas Buddy, Waze, all different kinds of tools that are all AI driven in the background. And most of those are constantly being upgraded. So they can say, hey, you can put in your information about your rig. I have a truck, or I have a travel trailer, or I have a motorhome, or I have this, or I have that. It is this long and this high, and it weighs this much, you know, and I want to never be on a ferry, whatever you feel like, you could tell it. And it will route your trip for you. It'll tell you where those good fuel prices are. It'll tell you when there's a problem. You can have it do things like check the weather for you before you go somewhere. It's like you can have AI that says, well, I want to go there, but is it going to be the right time? And how can I get in and out of that place if the weather's really bad? And using sites like Campendium and some of the others where you want to do the free off the road stuff. Wow, amazing, crazy places I found. Just not an RV spot, not a campground, just places to pull over and just enjoy the country. You can do all of those with some of these AI tools. And you can have a mechanic in your pocket with an AI tool. where you could snap a photograph of your problem that you've got with your rig, send it to them. They can tell you how to fix it, or they can show you where to go, or find you the best mobile technician that can handle all of that. All of those things can be done using some of the AI tools. So it doesn't have to just be for business. If you wanted to find out how to be healthy while you're on the road, not only could you work with some people like Kimberly so you can get really good healthy products, but you could do things like finding ZocDoc, like where's the nearest doctor, and some of those things that we run into when we're traveling we don't think about. It's like I don't know about you guys, but I've run into different states that have different rules about where I can go and what I can do on my insurance policy. It's like, oh my gosh, are they going to let me do that? I needed to get a knee injection for a blown out knee, and they would only let me go to this one particular kind of a person to do it, and they weren't in network, and then I had to prove that what was on. It was just a pain in the butt. But with the AI, I could have gone, oh, okay, well, here's a bunch of this is what I need. Find me somebody that can handle that for me. Okay. Or order your groceries and have them waiting for you when you get to the next RV site. Okay. You can do all those kind of things. So the idea, though, is technology is freaking awesome. I mean, it will make your life so much easier, but it can feel overwhelming. I think the biggest complaint most of my customers talk to me about is that I fire hose them because I get so excited about it. I'm telling them about stuff and their minds are blown on all of the things that you can do. But you don't have to start out heavy with that. I mean, you can start out with analog. You can start out with just a notepad and build out your first brand kit just by writing down who you are and what you do and what you like and making sure you have that available. So then the next time you want to go to Chat GPT, you can say, "Hey, I want you to write an email, and here's who I am, and this is the description of what I like," and give it some really good what are called prompts to make that happen. Um, and you can pick one or two things. Don't get, there are so many tools out there. I have bought many of them. And then now I only use about two or three tools that I use on a regular basis. Um, the ones that I use today the most are Claude, which I have a $20 a month plan. So and it does a bunch of amazing things for me. It makes images for me. It does blog posts and emails, and it knows all about me. It has there's a way that you can train the AI on what are called skills, which are just a whole series of things that you want it to do. It's kind of like going to your secretary and say, I want you to go over here and open this drawer, take that file and read that and take that and rewrite that and do this and do, and you can give it all that stuff and you put it into a package and save it. And it will just do it every time you want to go back to it. You go click a button and go, hey, go do that. Okay. You can use tools like Manus. I have built some of the most gorgeous websites just by talking to Manus. And it's on the free. I did this just for fun to see if I could do it. Manus has a free program, and in one of the things that I'm going to give you, I will, if you sign up, fill out the little form, I'll send you back a list of AI tools. In there are some links to some of the quote unquote affiliate links that I get. Manus will give you 500 free credits, and it gives me 500 free credits if you use my link, which is kind of fun. But that's how I found out about it. Somebody gave me a 500 link credit, so I tried it. And then I wanted to see, could I actually build a website for free? So I did. Now, it took me about a week because you only get so many credits a day. They get to 500 free, I use those up, but every day on that program, you get 300 new ones each day for free. So I just kept working on it, and then it would pause because I ran out of credits. And then the next day when it refreshed credits, I'd go in and I'd talk to it some more. I talked to it some more. It took about a week, I think. And I built a website for a European auto mechanic that's only does European cars, that is stunning for free. I think it's got 20 pages on it. It's got all of it was for free, all just by talking to the website. Okay. That's the kind of stuff you can do. Now, you could learn how to do that and then go sell it while you're on the road. Go build somebody else's website for them and then go sell the website. There's so many different things you could do. So, I guess I was going to do an FAQ at this time, Kimberly. I don't know if I can tell you what I'll do. I'll show you where you guys can get kind of some of the free stuff. So if you're on this live, send me an email at patrick@mybizsuite.com. And I think Kimberly's got that in there somewhere. It's patrick@mybizsuite.com. And just let me know you were here. And I will get you set up on your Social Post Wizard account. That account is, I guess I should have had that open. That program is $197 a month. And you're going to get 3 months of that free. So it's almost $600 value. And what I do is I interview you, I help you build that brand authority for who you are. And then I take that information and I custom build social media posts for you built around who you are so that you have 16 custom posts that can go out to all the different social media accounts that you have available. So that's not so if you had 16 posts and Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, X, etc., that's actually 80 posts that I build for you. Okay. If you did all of those or more, then you get to approve them. You get to look at them and go, yeah, those are real. And then those go out once a month for you in a calendar on a schedule that you want. And I'll do all that for you if you just send me that email because I want to introduce you to a way to use AI to make that stuff happen that you can see how you can have these tools done for you. I also have other what are called GPTs, and a GPT is if you go to Chat GPT and you were going to open up a Chat GPT, they have what are called GPTs, and these are custom pre-made programs, if you will, that I built that inside of them have a pile of training inside of them to do specific events. So the responses that you get aren't hallucinations. They're not going out to the internet trying to find an answer. When you come in here and you want to create an email or do an affiliate article or you know create your dossier for who you are or find out about employee engagement or creating lead magnets or sales pitches or SEO or training materials or voice cloning or video content. These are all mine. And I will give you one of these free, whichever one you want, because I don't know which one's best for you. So I don't want to give you something that isn't going to work for you. So when you come in and fill in this form here, what's going to happen is it's going to let me know that you're interested in that. And then I'm going to chat with you and find out what's the best GPT that I can give you that would help you for what you want to do. There are 62 of them in there right now, and I'm building new ones all the time. So it's kind of fun. So all you need to do is you can scan this QR code if you want to, which will get you to that form. I forgot to put the form name on here, but it's rv.mybizsuite.com, MYBIZSUITE, rv.mybizsuite.com, and you'll get that freebie gift from me too. That is good for anybody in the replay or in the live, either one who can take advantage of that. You'll get your custom GPT, and you'll also get that cheat sheet that's a curated, up-to-date list of AI tools that you can use on the road, both for your business and for your lifestyle, are on that list that you'll get when you fill that out. So I don't know if there's anybody around. I don't see the chat or anything. So I don't know if we've got questions or those kind of things.
Hey, Patrick,
I
you're
mean,
doing a great job, and you've got lots of folks listening in, but no questions in the chat. I think you did a great job. I actually had written down a question and you answered it. So I don't I don't need to ask it now.
am I
But
still sharing or did I stop sharing? I was trying to find the button.
you're still sharing.
Oh, okay. How come it's not like where's my stop sharing thing? Huh. Okay, sharing.
There you go. But I think I want to point out, kind of, you did have a great slide on kind of where to get started if you're brand new to all of this, but I think it's worth repeating, for someone. Is I'm a beginner. Even this little thumbnail of information that you gave us could be
Mhm.
overwhelming for someone who has not even begun with chat, with AI. And
Yep.
so the best place to start is.
Well, it kind of depends on whether you're looking at using AI for your lifestyle or for your business. I mean, really.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, if I would say the most important thing, if you're going to use AI for your business, is look into developing that brand identity first. And that's why most people can't get AIs to work for them.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they go, oh, AI's no good. It never answers the right question. It always answers the wrong. It always sounds like a robot. That's because you didn't know what to tell it.
Right. There's an art
You
form
know,
to it that you need to learn, right?
you have to. The simplest thing to remember is it's like a brand new employee. You have to tell it what you want,
Mm-hmm.
right? If you don't tell it, it doesn't know what to give you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and especially if you're using AIs have kind of two different tracks. The Chat GPT, even just basic Claude or Gemini or any of those, if you just go to the new task or you just type in a question, it's going out to the internet and it's grabbing anything anybody ever said out there. There's
Mm-hmm.
no filter about whether it's right or wrong. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's just trying to find what the most common answer is to the thing that you asked.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. When you use the GPTs, like I was showing you, or if you go to ask it that question and you put think of it like going bowling and when them little bumper guards used to come up in the gutter,
Mm-hmm.
to keep your ball from going in the gutter. It's
Yes.
kind of like that, right? You want to put those bumpers around your AI so
Sure.
it's not jumping into the gutter and doing stuff. It's going right down where you want it to go.
Right.
Okay. So that's the
Right.
most important thing to learn. And the way to keep that those guards rails in place is to know what to say to it to keep those guardrails in place. Number one,
Mm-hmm.
that's the first thing. And then go use a tool that isn't necessarily going out to the internet, right? My GPTs do not go out to the internet. I mean, they could if you asked it to, but
Okay.
when you ask it a question, it has a typically between 15 and 50 to 60 pages of documentation underneath it that's trained that tool on the answer. So it's a specific thing for a specific question. So
Okay.
when I'm going to write an email, I go to a GPT that's been trained on how to write an email. What makes an email convert? What's the right length of it? What does this? What does that? What does this? I don't have to know any of that.
Mm-hmm.
I just have to know where to go ask it. When I want to
Mm-hmm.
create a blog post, there's 5 different things that you should have in a blog post to make it convert the best. Okay.
Okay.
I don't have to know what those five. I don't have to tell you what those 5 things to do because I can send you to one of my GPTs and say, go use that because it is already trained on those.
Mm-hmm.
And so it will give you an answer with the best training in it.
Okay.
So
I love that.
it's kind of like saying, I could start out with just asking anybody with the answer, or I could say, hey, that guy over there he's been doing it for all this time, and he knows the answers to that.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to take those answers and use them so that I get the right format in what I'm doing,
Mm-hmm.
right? And
I
that's where the
found
GPT takes come in. Yeah.
Yeah, I found that because I'm not definitely not the AI expert, that is for sure. But I found that actually having a conversation with the AI like a human. So like if you tell it to do something and it gives you back stuff that's not quite right, what would you say to your assistant if they
Exactly.
did that?
Exactly.
Um,
Just yeah,
just
just say
baby talk it along until it gets to know what it is that you want is what I found
right,
effective.
right. And some of the AIs have built-in memory in them. So if it's just your ChatGPT account, for example, you can turn on the memory inside the back end of it that says, remember this, and you can even feed stuff in another portion of it with a memory that says, here's who I am. Think of this when you're doing something. So you don't have to put it in every time,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. My chat
right?
GPT set up like that. And
Yeah,
Gemini
yeah.
has
So
gotten like that too.
Gemini,
Those are the
yeah,
those are the
yeah,
tools that I use. But I wanted to share this. When I was creating graphics and things for this event, marketing tools and things for this event, I used Gemini, Chat GPT, Canva, I think, and I made, I think, some okay graphics. But then, Patrick, you volunteered to do some graphics for the event. Blew mine away. Blew mine away. And so I'm assuming you used the AI tools that you're talking about here today.
yeah. Well, yeah, I used ones that some of the GPTs here, but everything that you just saw in that presentation that I just did,
Mm-hmm.
90% of that was done in Gemini's notebook.
Okay.
Notebook LM is one of the most hidden secret tools, and it's free if you have a Google Workspace account. You get it free. Actually, you get it free in
Yes.
even a G. You get it free in a Gmail account too. Now that I think about it, it's just you get a smaller version of it in Gmail than
Mm-hmm.
if you have a Workspace account. But that tool is free. It's already in there. Doesn't
Yeah.
cost you nothing. And
Yeah.
it does amazing things. It created, I fed it a whole bunch of information. I just told it to go out and it'll do what's called deep research. And I go out and research this, give me some answers, let me look at it. And then I say, okay, I want you to use this, and this, and create me a slide deck out of that and make it look like this. Now, I do have a prompt. One of my other GPTs
Mm-hmm.
is about how to prompt Notebook LM so you get really cool pictures. But, so I did prompt it
I might
correctly.
have to hit you up for that one.
Yeah, I'll share it with you. I'll share it with you.
Awesome.
And then it just built the pictures for me. And then when it was done with I actually created the script, and I use there's a fun tool called Whisperflow.
Mm-hmm.
And Whisperflow, WISPRFLOW, it'll be on my links if you grab my cheat sheet page. I think you get a discount of $5 or $10 or something off of that. It's not expensive. It's like 10 or $15 a month.
Mm-hmm.
But Whisperflow is a narration tool, kind of like when you're in Microsoft Word or something where you can click the little microphone and talk to it.
Mm-hmm.
But instead of it taking everything you said and just putting everything you said into it, Whisperflow listens to what you said, and then an AI sorts through what you said, removes the ums and ahs, reformats it. If you said the same thing twice, it'll take it out, and it does all of that for you, and then saves it in a snippet in case you accidentally erase it, so you can go back and get it. And then you can do that, and it gives you on the report that I got from last month. It said I type at 140 words a minute using Whisperflow.
Wow.
I did
Wow.
89 websites that I talked to using Whisperflow to build stuff and do things because I can't type for beans. But with Whisperflow, I can just talk and it will write
And
everything
it
that I want to
writes it
write.
out.
I wrote this whole
Amazing.
presentation by hitting Whisperflow and talking to it and talking just like I was talking. I thought, I'll just go give the presentation and let it record my voice. And I recorded my voice just like I was going to do it freeform. And then I went to Notebook LM and said, read this recording that I just did and match it up with that slide deck that you want to make and make the recording and the slide deck go together.
Well, okay.
Okay.
Okay. We've learned so much from you, Patrick. I always do.
Yeah,
And we could go on and
yeah.
on and
It's
on,
late.
but we
It's
have
late.
we've
Yep.
got Christelle on the deck, but I wanted to
That's
just
Crystal.
yep, wanted to reiterate the giveaways that you have. You've got the huge big deal, the social media wizard, social
Yeah.
post wizard, right?
Social Post
And
Wizard. Yeah. Yeah. You got to be live for that. You got to be
yep,
here
you
today or
got to
tomorrow.
email Patrick and get that. And then I know you gave out your email address, but I also want you to know if you go to anchoredinfreedomsummit.com, find Patrick's session and click on the speaker info. That'll take you to the speaker page, and the link to that GPT generator that you showed us is right there, plus the link to reach out to Patrick or even schedule a calendar, a meeting so that you can
Yeah.
ask more questions.
I'm
Um,
always good for sharing good ideas. It's just fun.
you are.
I enjoy the heck out of it.
You are
Thanks
great
for
for
allowing me to
sharing.
be here, Kimberly. It's always a pleasure to be here with you and everybody else. And I look forward to the next session. I have taken a lot of notes from what I've heard from what she's taught already, and
Hmm.
and have been talking to my daughter about what I need to do because of that. So
Yeah.